Let's give it up for Tim, and I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I did.
Here we go. All right. Hello, my friends. Happy first day of summer. Yes, today. Summer solstice. And fun fact, every day after this is going to get a little bit darker until December 21st. Not to ruin it for everybody, but yeah, I know, right? It does. It kind of sucks, right? Yeah. Want to thank Jared for asking me to do this and bringing us all together. I think what an incredible asset this group is to all of our lives. So give it up for Jared. Yes. As Jared said, my name is Tim Mieney. Spent the last 10 years as a real estate investor and entrepreneur, and recently became a licensed real estate agent to broker my own deals and help other investors. A little bit of background on me. I am a husband to a smoking hot wife, father of 3. I love traveling, fitness, rock climbing, spending time with family, hanging with the boys, and of course, hanging with all of you fellow degenerates. I am far from being an expert. Here. I'm far from being an expert in business, but I have spent the last 10 years being 100% self-employed since 2012. In that time, I built multiple successful businesses and a multiple 7-figure real estate portfolio. And I'm probably the definition of how to become an entrepreneur in the hardest way possible. I was just talking to Riley about this, actually. I've tried almost every line of work you could possibly imagine since I was 15. I've been a pizza maker, construction worker. I've done retail, factory work. I've been a musician, a music producer, photographer, videographer. I've done it all. I've had 7 W-2 jobs in my life. I was fired from every single one of them. Every single one. I'm not kidding. My advice for you W-2 workers is stick it out as long as possible. I wish I could have. I am unfortunately just not wired to work a 9-to-5 or work for somebody else. But I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't thought about how much easier my life would be if I just gave it all up and accepted a nice fat W-2 check, you know? So I've had to build everything I have from scratch with no money, and it's been a grind. I don't recommend it, especially if you have a family to provide for. Also, I just want to put this out there. I am not special. I am not rolling in dough. I am just a guy who never really fit into the societal molds and have spent my whole life trying to build my own molds. I'm very passionate about encouraging others towards their dreams and their goals because of how blessed and fulfilled my life has been by chasing my own. So before we dive in, I want to share a couple quotes with you guys that really resonate with me and I believe set the tone for everything I'm about to share with you. They are, the man who loves to walk will walk farther than the man who loves the destination. Has anybody heard that one before? Yeah? Good one. I like this one even more. A life full of success means nothing if not accompanied by a life of significance. Okay? Keep those things in mind and let's begin. So my goal for this evening is to help those of you that are working W-2 jobs, but you want to transition over into being 100% self-employed, or for those of you guys that have already made the transition, but you're still struggling a little bit. And this isn't going to be a step-by-step how to go from A to B speech, although I will give you an 8-step action plan at the end. Instead, I want to focus on 5 main things that I believe are driving factors for success as an entrepreneur and a real estate investor. All right, they are, number 1, the correlation between trauma and success. Number 2, the traits and habits of successful people. Number 3, the importance of developing a winner's mentality. Number 4, how to build your entrepreneurial muscles. And number 5, how to optimize your life for maximum fulfillment, which is the most important one in my opinion. So question for everybody, who here currently has a W-2 income? Right on. And who is already 100% self-employed? Right on. Congrats to all you guys. And for the W-2 people that want to make the transition, those guys that just put their hands up, talk to them, okay? They've been grinding. They know what's up. All right. Also, let's get this straight. There's absolutely nothing wrong with working a W-2 and having a side hustle. Nothing wrong with that at all. Entrepreneurship is a lonely road. And I spend 20 hours a week in my office by myself. A lot of my friends work 9-to-5s, so the vast majority of people that I would like to hang out with, they all have completely different schedules than I do. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I would not change a thing. And with that being said, there's no cookie cutter way to transition into entrepreneurship. There's 1,000 ways you can make this transition, and every single one of them starts with your mindset. But if you want to do this and you want to do it right, you got to dial in your life. So let's dive in. Point number 1, the correlation between trauma and success. The interesting thing about successful people, typically most have some sort of trauma in their past, and because of that, they are determined to prove something to themselves or prove something to others. My past is personally filled with a lot of inadequacy, loss, and grief. I grew up in a school system that completely failed me. I had teachers, administrators, and coaches telling me that I would never amount to anything, and fortunately they were wrong. When I was 18, a month before I somehow graduated high school, my best friend and his whole family passed away in a fire. Completely changed my life and showed me how precious life is and how real and inevitable death is. 4 years later, when I was 22, my dad died on the floor right in front of me as I attempted to save his life through CPR. I felt with my own hands as my dad's chest sunk to the floor and he took his last breath. And I left. It was the most traumatic thing I've ever experienced and probably will ever experience. But where my dad's life ended, mine truly began. Trauma is a funny thing because it can push you in a positive or a negative direction depending upon your mindset. For those that go in a positive direction, trauma leads to a desire to overcome, which ultimately creates high expectations, high standards, and big goals. Gary Vee actually said, if you aim for the top of the house, you're probably going to hit a window. But if you aim for the moon, you're going to land somewhere in the mountains. So the point being, dream big, right? It's not about accomplishing every goal we set. It's about building the standards that big goals require and living our lives by those standards. Our goals, they're never guaranteed, but our standards are. So if we have high expectations, we're inevitably going to build high standards and ultimately a more successful life. All right. Point number 2, the traits and habits of successful people. Why do you guys think guys like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk became so successful? What do you guys think some of their character traits are? Just anything at all. Shout something out.
Obsession.
Obsession. Good. Yep. Consistency. I like, yes, 100%. Grit. Nailed it. Confidence. Yep. All right. I think there's a lot of things, and here's some of the things that came to my mind. They have a growth-driven mindset. They aren't afraid to try new things. They don't fear failure, and they fail often. They have determination and tenacity. They have a desire to be a master at their craft. And these two are the big ones. They believe that they deserve success. And most importantly, they value their significance more than they value that success. The problem is not everyone has this hunger and mindset naturally. Some of us have to find it. So how do you become this kind of person? Here's what I think. You need to adopt a regimented lifestyle. Things like your fitness, a morning routine, work-life balance, your hobbies, all of those things matter. You need to be eager to learn, and learning should be a part of your lifestyle. I spend as much time as I can listening to podcasts, books, talking to mentors, all of that. Your willingness to learn from others is directly correlated to the amount of success that you're going to find in your life. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you might be in the wrong room, right? However, there is a balance between education and action, and we all need to find it. Adam Shayer, he's actually the guy who created Siri for the iPhone. He once said, life is a lot like a book. Most people want to write one chapter and then keep rereading it over and over again. The most successful people, however, write many chapters. They write a chapter, they live, breathe, and master it. They get bored, they move on, and they write a new chapter. Life is short, and change is good. So write a book with a lot of chapters. This one's a big one. We need to all seek out mentors. It is so important. I have a mentor. His name is Paul. He's my mom's cousin. He's in his mid-60s. This dude is probably the most successful entrepreneur I know, flies his own plane around. He's an incredible human being. And yet, he talks to me every single week for free. And why does he do that? Well, I asked him, so that's for starters. Yeah, I asked him. But and second, because guys like Paul believe in giving more than they take, okay? Being a giver of your time, your money, and your experience is incredibly important. And this doesn't mean that you have to do everything for free, but err on the side of generosity. Now, do people find success without being generous? Absolutely. There are plenty of douchebags that found their way to success by stepping on others. But in general, the more humble we are, the more generous we are, the more successful we're going to be. Unfortunately, success can and will bring life to a bit of an ego. I know I personally struggle with this. I don't know if you guys have as well, but I'm still working on it a little bit. And this is honestly quite beneficial to a degree, but it is absolutely detrimental if not kept in check. But because of this ego, successful people begin to believe that they deserve to win. And this leads us to point number 3, which is developing a winner's mentality. I think winning looks a lot like mastery. The most successful people in the world are obsessed with mastering their craft. Everyone wants to be great, but only a few will put in the work to actually be great. Steve Martin actually once said, be so good that they can't ignore you. Those are words to live by, And And the great news is you only need to win big once to realize it's possible, and then you can replicate it over and over again. My first big win was in 2011. I was actually in a band called the Summer Scene. We opened for our favorite bands. We played Warped Tour, had our music video go viral. We were in magazines, had street teams and fans all over the world. It was insane. It was one of the best times of my life. And it showed me that winning big was possible when you have a goal, you're dedicated to mastering your craft, and then you put in the reps to get there. I ultimately left to pursue my business in video production, but it was an incredible journey, and I continue to utilize those skills in every endeavor that I do today. I've replicated this mentality on my fitness journey. I've replicated it while building my production business, and I did it again while building my real estate business and portfolio. And now, a winner's mentality does not mean that you're never going to lose, right? You will 100% lose, you will fail, you will have incredibly hard times, 100% guarantee it. But the best way to not suck at something is to try it knowing you're going to be bad at it and just doing it anyway. Eventually, by putting in the reps, you become good at the thing that you used to be bad at. And to do this, you need to have a level of self-confidence that will allow you to see past your current skill set to the future you that stumbled your way through it and then figured it out. You have to believe that you're not only capable, but you deserve to win. And if you adopt a tenacious mindset and you persevere through the trials, you will eventually win, and you will win big. Moving on, point number 4, how to build your entrepreneurial muscles. I know we've all heard it, and it's super cliche, but find comfort in discomfort, right? One of the most important lessons we all need to learn as entrepreneurs is how to get comfortable with the unknown. You're never going to feel ready or have all the answers. As entrepreneurs, it's our job to become expert problem solvers. Elon Musk has said that the hardest part about his job as the CEO is that he's the filter for all the hardest problems to flow through. When you're the owner, you're the one responsible for finding the solutions to your business's problems. I'm sure Randy can tell you all about this. Entrepreneurship is like walking through a cloudy forest. You're never going to see your whole way through, but you can see your next step. So keep taking steps, keep trying new things, keep taking action, and you're going to find your way. My fitness regimen has become the foundation for this mentality in my life. The cool thing about fitness, it helps you build a strong and healthy body, but more importantly, a strong and healthy mind that's conditioned for steady, continual progress towards a future goal. It's a game changer, and it's why most successful people honestly work out. The best entrepreneurs are masters of leverage. Whether you're leveraging other people's time, their experience, their money, or their network, this is one of the most vital skills you need to build as an entrepreneur, and you do it by getting in rooms with people that are smarter than you and providing value to them. We all know the quote, your network is your net worth, right? It's cliche, but it's 100% true. The stronger your network, the more leverage you're going to inevitably have. Entrepreneurs are masters of the middle. Do you guys know who Alex Hormozi is? TikTok guy? He talks about this all the time. Everyone focuses on the starting line and the finish line, but no one talks about how hard the middle is. The mundane middle, or the valley of despair, is where the real work lies and where the skills necessary for success are built. And not quitting, where 99% of other people quit, is how you become successful. All right, let's talk about systems. Successful entrepreneurs utilize systems and processes in their businesses to maximize efficiency. I actually ran my production business off of an Excel file for like 5 years, okay? When I finally committed to utilizing a CRM to handle my whole back office, I freed up well over 20 hours a week, and I went from working in my business to working on my business. I use a CRM called Tave. I have an assistant who manages it. It's full of automations, email templates, a client portal. It took me 3 months to set it up, and now I spend maybe a couple hours a week on that business outside of when I have to go film occasionally. And the great thing is, all of these skills and understanding the importance of systems and processes, I actually learned by investing in real estate first, and then I applied them to other parts of my life and my businesses. Real estate is the best industry to build these skills in because they're all required to win big here. And if you can do them here in real estate, you can do them anywhere. All right, last point. Point number 5, and in my opinion, the most important. How to optimize your life for maximum fulfillment. This is a big one. I build my life around 5 core values. I call them my 5 F's. They are my faith in Jesus Christ, my family, my friends, my fitness, and my finances. I prioritize all of these things whenever I make a big decision in my life. This allows me to stay balanced, maintain a clear vision for my future, and be truly fulfilled in everything that I do. An example, I have a buddy. He has a mid-engine Corvette. I think Randy could tell you something about one of those. It's sick, right? I would absolutely love to have one, and I'm sure I could finance one and I could make the payments, right? But that decision right now would be in direct conflict with my family and my finances. And it's not that I'm not allowed to own a Corvette. It's just in this season of my life, I don't see it as a wise decision because it's going to pull me away from other things that matter more. So how do you come up with the core values for your life? Well, you start by recognizing your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, and your weaknesses. What are you naturally really good at? What things do you care about most? Are you a morning person or are you a night owl? All these things matter. We're all different people. My path is not going to be your path. And the things that you're good at, I might not be good at. For example, I'm naturally really bad at prioritization, and I'm insanely ADHD. I use lists, tasks, reminders, all those things that help me stay focused and consistent. Otherwise, I'm never going to get anything done. Riley and I were just talking about this. You also need a clear vision of what you want your life to look like in 30 years. Once you have that vision and an idea of where you're going, the decisions you make now become much more intentional. Speaking of being intentional, who here knows what time blocking is or is using time blocking right now in their life? Randy, Logan, yep, awesome, sick. If you are not time blocking, you need to start, okay? Time blocking it's just creating a rigid framework of what you're doing every day and when. This way you become more intentional about all the things that you care about most. Time blocking has been a complete game changer in my life. I structure every hour of my day from the time that I'm awake to the time that I go to bed. I start with my family time and then I work backwards from there. A little tip, like when I have family time, my phone automatically clicks over to do not disturb, okay? Not that I still don't use my phone sometimes, I definitely do, but it helps with the temptation a lot. Oh, also, if you want to use my template for time blocking or see the speech notes, you can scan the QR code that has the Instagram label on it. You can see that there. Moving on. You need to focus on building your business around your life, not the other way around. Okay, the last thing that you want to do is build a business that will ultimately pull you away from the things that you value the most. Surround yourself with like-minded people that are going in the same direction as you and lift each other up. We all need people around us that will encourage us and rise with us and hold us accountable. All of us here in this room are now on this journey together. And if you need help, you're actually in the right place. There are a lot of smart people here that I know would love to share their experience with you anytime, right? Nick, you want to know about insurance? Talk to Nick. Or underwriting deals. You want to know about how to build a community? Talk to this guy. You want to know about wholesaling? Talk to Dylan. Or business? Talk to Randy. All of these guys are literally masters of their crafts. So talk to them. All right, finally, I know we touched on this earlier, but I want to make sure that we hammer this home. Bring as much value as you can to others and give without the expectation of receiving anything in return. Whether you're giving your time, your money, or your experience, just find joy in giving. It's so important. Give freely and be an asset for others because the ROI on giving is absolutely infinite. As promised, here is the 8-step action plan, all right? And don't worry about writing this down. If you want to scan the QR code thing, you can find it in those notes. Number 1, set a big goal, believe it's possible, and believe that you deserve it. Number 2, adopt habits that promote success. Number 3, educate yourself and seek out mentors. Number 4, become a master at your craft. Number 5, create a roadmap of small goals that lead to your big goal and adjust as needed. Number 6, try new things and give yourself permission to change your mind or flat out fail. Number 7, take daily action no matter how small. And number 8, build relationships, bring value to others, and just give back. Some closing thoughts. I just want to say thank you guys so much for allowing me to hopefully encourage you and pour into you guys. I have some big goals in my life, in business, certainly in real estate. I did not think that public speaking would be one of them, but here we are. I'm honored that you guys are all now a part of that chapter of my journey. And if any of you ever need help with anything that I talked about, anything at all, DM me on Instagram, add me on Facebook. I'm happy to help. Like I literally love pumping other people up and encouraging people. It's what makes me tick. So I'd love to do that. Let's see. And finally, always remember, enjoy the journey. Stop dwelling on the destination because in the end, success, it really doesn't matter, but significance does. Focus on being significant in the lives of others. You've already won. So thank you guys so much. And if you have any questions, I can hang out, answer any questions you have. If not, I'm going to stop rambling and we can all hang out. So thank you guys.